Hello, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about being opinionated. As someone with Aspergers, I have very black and white thinking. I have very rigid thinking. There's no grey in any discussions I have. I either agree with it or I don't, and if anyone else has got an opposing view, I very often don't give it much credence or significance or any value, to be honest with you. And that's a real arrogant, self-centered thing to say, really, isn't it? That, you think what you think and that's it. You're not open to persuasion or argument. But that's pretty much, that is the truth, and it is because of my Aspergers. Throughout my life, I think I have alienated myself from a lot of people who, some have gone on to have a real physical dislike for me because I am very opinionated and I do come across as arrogant and rude when I am getting deep into a conversation or an argument with somebody. I have very deep-rooted opinions that can't be swayed, really, and it is because of my Aspergers and my black and white thinking. But it has got me into problems, and it has made me, I feel, has gone some way to making me an unpopular person with many people that I come into contact with. I would say normally work colleagues. More than anything, I am quite, I hadn't really analysed it too much before I'd been diagnosed. Why I was so argumentative, why I was so rigid in my ways of thinking, and it is because of the Aspergers, and it is a common issue and trait for people with Aspergers, that they have this one-track thinking, and no matter how really I try and analyse it or think why it would be, it just is. I've read and seen and listen to so many other people now who've got Aspergers and that, and it's a common thread that comes up, this black and white thinking, and that's how, and with me, that's how it materialises in my everyday life. Is I clash with people because I'm not open-minded, I'm not liberal. I don't think I have the capability in relation to empathy to see any other side of the argument. I can't put myself in somebody else's shoes and see it from another point of view. And what I really can't do is see it from a neurotypical point of view. I kind of make my mind up what I think is right, and then nothing's going to budge me from that. And that's normally based on fact and logic, but of course life isn't just based on those things, it's based on emotions. Neurotypical people, they base a lot of their decisions in life on their heart, their emotions, and myself and other people with Aspergers, we don't base our life on emotions. We base our life and decisions we make through it on fact. And so whenever I get into discussions with people about something, and they sort of say to me, well, this is what I think, and I say, well, does it really matter what you think? Where's the facts to back it up? Where's the evidence to back up what you're saying? And it ties in with the neurotypical neuro network of, there's just this understanding of how the neurotypical world works, which I'm just not tapped into. There's certain there's certain ways of thinking that I don't understand, and I can't make those connections, and I just see it in black and white, and I apply logic to it, and I can't apply the emotions to it because I don't understand them. I don't understand how they work. I don't understand why they should even be a consideration, and it's got me into problems before. And as I said, people have formed a really negative impression of me and have don't like me, and it's something I try and keep down and stifle, and it just gets the better of me. I'm in an argument, not in an argument, sorry, I'm in a discussion. I like discussions, but I like discussions to go a certain way, because if someone says something, I like to know how they've come to that theory and that way of thinking, and what evidence there is to back that up. When I don't get that, that's when all my goodwill goes out the window of, let's just walk away from this and just agree to disagree, because so many times I've said it and I've actually gone back into the argument and wouldn't let it lie, because I think it's been a reflex action for my whole life. If you're not a neurotypical person, the only way you can learn to live in a neurotypical world is to understand, or to have explained to you, why neurotypicals do things and why they think things, and then just remember them and still not understand them, but just remember, oh yeah, that's how you think, oh yeah, that's how you're going to react to this. I wouldn't react to it, but my past experiences and information tells me this is how this is going to be received if I start being an arsehole, I suppose, and being very rigid and not bending when we're having an argument or a discussion, and it all being one-sided, and me not listening to the other person's perspective, because I do that. I do listen to the other people's perspective, but literally never does someone come back at me and say, this is the reason, and I go, do you know what, I've learned something today. It doesn't happen very often, because I still think I'm right, and people don't like people like that, do they? No one likes someone like that, and I know for a fact, I've gone through my life and I've alienated more people than I've ever made friends with, for sure, and I've alienated people that might become friends, but I've just seen this arrogant, argumentative, stick in the mud that they just can't be dealing with. So yeah, being opinionated kind of comes with the territory for me for having Aspergers. I do try not to get drawn into it, and I find myself just always, after I've said something or had a heated debate where I've just said, you're talking shit now, because what you're saying, you've got no evidence to back it up, you're just talking a load of tosh, kind of gets me into trouble and gets me a reputation for someone that's a bit of an arsehole, and it's very difficult for me just to walk away from those kind of arguments. But part of it for me was always asking the questions, trying to understand. I think before I was diagnosed, that's exactly what I was doing. Well, why do you think that? I don't understand why you think that. You've got to try and explain to me why you think that. Well, what is there to back it up? And a lot of people aren't very good at being able to articulate it. But then, even if people are good at articulating, they're still giving it to you from a neurotypical point of view, which you still don't understand, you still won't understand. You can only accept that that's how other people think, but you still never accept it or understand it. And now I've got diagnosed, I realise, you know, that was my Aspergers all along, really hindering me and making me look like a bit of a jackass some of the time, being this person that's kind of argumentative and rigid thinking, and always wants things to go his way. And I understand that, you know, that's why that happened, and I would like to try and step back from it more and be less argumentative, and that's work in progress, I think. So anyway, thanks for watching again. Cheers.